Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to the BCTV podcast. This is episode number 10. We have here a very entertaining show, a very awesome guest here with us, MiddleAgedStream, aka Jimbles. He is a fantastic streamer. He's also, usually you might know him as a glass of beer, but today he's here in the flesh with us. How are you doing, man?
I'm well, man. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. I was really been looking forward to it.
I'm glad to have you, man. Glad to have you. And of course, over here we got my co-host Chard Monk and Paul over at Family Games. How you guys doing today?
Howdy, howdy. Doing awesome. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man.
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
This weather outside is frightfully beautiful. I can't believe how nice it is.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Up in Washington right now.
You're in Washington. I'm all the way in Indiana, but it's pretty sunny.
Oh,
yeah.
It was like 80 degrees this week, and we haven't seen that since last summer. It's insane.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
I think I actually got a sunburn yesterday sitting outside. We're really pale up here in the Great White North, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you ever seen the sun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Has the sun ever been there since you've moved there?
A couple times. We've seen it a couple times.
How's it down in Texas, Jimbles?
Yeah.
It is warming up, man. It's starting to warm up quite a bit, actually. Yeah. We finally get into, I guess, weather in the. We had weather in the 90s last week for the first time this year. So, but it's back down now. It's pretty nice outside. I think it's in the 70s, but it's starting to warm up.
That's not bad. Yeah. That's not bad. Yeah, we probably
summer
got
is
about
approaching.
50s here.
You can sense it in the air.
I'm ready for it, man. I'm here
too.
for it. Since I'm a teacher, I'm ready for summer.
Yeah.
Oh, bad. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you guys get you're teachers, so you get the summers off too, which is really nice.
Well, kind of, not completely. You still have professional development to do, and all that other fun stuff. Right. But yes, it is nice. It'll be nice to not be teaching every day. And I know I'm not alone when I say this, but any type of job where you're a public-facing job and you're working with people during a pandemic, it's not been an easy thing to be a teacher for this year. And I know I'm not alone when I say that, because how hard is it to be a cashier or a grocery worker or anything? But if you're going to be around a lot of people, it's been a bit frightening, I should say. And I've been fortunate that I was recently got my second COVID vaccination. It'll be 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks next week so I'll be pretty good. It's just, I'm ready. I'm ready for a break, man. I'm ready for a mental break, a physical break. And I know there's a lot of people in the education field that feel the same way I do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, Paul knows some of your pain as a fellow teacher. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's really rough. It's changed the lives of a lot of people, unfortunately. And good for you for getting the vaccine. And I'm glad that you recovered. I know you had some issues. A lot of people have had issues with that second shot. And I'm actually looking into starting my round. I'm going to be making the appointment starting tomorrow.
It wasn't the worst. It was basically flu symptoms for not even 2 days, and then I was over it. Then it just magically kind of
just get through it and then be done with it. Just a couple days and you're back. Yeah,
that'll
way
be
better
me in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And some people, it doesn't affect them at all. I mean, some people just get the sore arm. It really is just,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Nicole gets number 2 tomorrow.
She get number 2.
Boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice. Yeah. My mom's had both of hers, and hopefully we'll be getting our first round here pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, it beats the hell out of catching COVID. That's for damn sure.
For sure.
So kudos to you and all you guys for getting that. So that's very cool. So back to because you're like a fantastic streamer, dude. I've been watching your channel, and I am always floored by the finesse that you have with all the different scene changes and all the different and the cleverness of all the scenes, but the way you interact with your community and just seamlessly switch between scenes and interact that and make that a part of your interaction with your chat. It's really, really quite remarkable. How did you come up with the ideas for a lot of this stuff, or what's the process behind that?
Man, I first of all, thank you for all the kind words. It's been a lot of trial and error in streaming. I've been streaming over 6 years on Twitch. I didn't switch to being using an avatar instead of being on a webcam till I guess it was the end of January or beginning of February of last year.
Oh, that's not long
ago. I've only been doing that for a little over a year, I guess. And that was really the catalyst for change, because it allowed me to do the creative different things on the stream and using that beer avatar, where it'd be very difficult to do that. It's not saying it's impossible, because I know other people do it, but it's a lot more difficult, I think, to use a camera for those types of things, unless you're using a bunch of good green screen technology and stuff. It's a lot more extra into that, you know?
Yeah, and then you have to have you're limited on your camera angle, and you do have to use a green screen, and you have to be good with the chroma, the keying, and the lighting and things like that. Did it have an effect on how you? I don't want to say your confidence level, but did it have an effect on your persona, changing over to the beer mug, or is it just kind of it's the same stream or same personality, same stream, but with the beer avatar?
It is still in some ways the same, but I would definitely say my confidence and ability to stream, and just when I took away the webcam, when I started streaming on Twitch, I just made almost all the streams I watched for people using webcams, and I just made it was a lot more difficult, I think. I think it was a lot more difficult, especially in those early days on Twitch, to grow an audience without a webcam.
Sure.
Because it seemed like now I think today that may have changed a little bit because there's other options out there. But I just always assumed I was going to use a webcam, and it took me years of streaming to realize that one thing that was kind of holding me back a little bit was my brain and being worried about what my face looked like or how I was appearing in front of the camera. It wasn't a huge thing, but it was an impediment to my streaming. And so finally I had done a couple of no cam streams, and one day I just decided that I was just going to try it, and try not stream without a cam. And it was just no cam, and it was just my voice for a little while. And that's when I thought of trying to use an avatar. It'd be kind of like a bridge between not using a cam and using a cam, and then also being able to implement, all the wild scenes and stuff, and make it kind of more like a variety show. I think somebody told me, and this is a really nice compliment somebody gave me, they likened my stream to like a Adult Swim, on
I was thinking the same thing.
Comedy
Yeah,
Central.
100% agree.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's the short version of it, basically. How it started.
So
because I don't know if I could ever picture you live on screen doing the ooh-woo thing with being a beer. That pulls that off. I think it'd be a little much.
Yeah.
I still like the idea of you're not using the camera anymore, but you still have an avatar and a persona that people can still see and talk to, and it's like it's actually there. So, even though it's hilarious because the beer's face expression doesn't really change.
Yeah.
But you could still feel the expressions. Even when you do the close-up stuff that you do, like when you die in Dark Souls or something like that, you could still feel the expression off of a expressionless bottle of beer. It's really brilliant. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's been a lot of fun. I honestly I didn't expect, because I have been streaming for over 6 years, like I said, and of those 6 years of streaming up until I guess like May or June of last year, I was only averaging anywhere between 20 to 30 viewership a month, and it had been that way for 5+ years, and then all of a sudden, just a lot of people kind of started coming back, and then I started adding more and more scenes, and by the end of summer, I had I don't even know how many I have now. I've got a lot, but I know I had at least 30 different scenes by the end of last summer that were all unique,
Where do you find the inspiration to make the new scenes? Is it something that happens in stream? Is it kind of an organic thing that arises from memes that you guys develop while you're live, or is it something you're watching a movie and you're just like, oh, I can do something like that, but fit it towards my live stream, or is it something else?
There's been a few times where I've taken inspiration directly from, viewers in the channel. But then there's been other times, or, from my mods, a lot of it is just organic, where I'll think of something that it makes, like, for example, my, the whole mission accomplished scene, that I have, that's kind of a play on George Bush a little bit, it's a great, I try and come up with something that you can use in different ways. Like, for example, I have a variety of different scenes. I don't just have one scene if I get a raid, I think part of the fun is, for the viewer at least, you don't really know what's going to happen next And I think when you have that sense of what engages the Twitch audience, at least for my channel, is for a lot of people, especially someone who's new to the channel, they're like, man, you don't know what's going to happen next sometimes. And I think that makes it fun. It's not predictable.
I agree. Yeah, definitely keeps you on your toes.
And I love that you embrace a silliness, a not taking yourself too seriously, because there are some streamers I've seen that are afraid to lean into the silly, and you just kind of let it fly and have fun. And I always appreciate that, because Twitch is like, at the bottom line of it, it's escapism for a lot of people, and you have so much fun with it that I can go hours and hours watching you, and there's no lag, there's not stale, there's always something fresh, and I appreciate that, because there's always something new at Moss every time.
I try and keep it fresh, man. That is one thing that I have learned, is you got to constantly evolve your content, and I think I finally, after a long time of evolving content, I finally found what worked for me. And
that's awesome.
It just took a while to get there, man. It took a while. It took a lot of years of not very good streams, and also not very and with everything you can imagine, from technical problems to just I've had almost every single thing that it could happen. Not everything, but a lot of almost every technical problem you can think of. And then, of course, you come to realize the type of streamer that you want to be after a period of time, I think. When I first started streaming on Twitch, it was night and day from where I'm at now.
Sure.
I'm not just talking about, the style of, the show, of course, but also I didn't really understand Twitch. I just didn't really understand. It took a while to understand the culture of Twitch, and learning about different types of streams and streamer etiquette, and what kind of etiquette to have when you're as a viewer, and all those things.
Oh yeah.
I did all those cringy things you shouldn't do when I was first learning about Twitch.
I think we all have been guilty of that. Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Well, somebody who's go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, as somebody, and I think I speak for all of us, that is on that journey myself. It's really been inspiring watching you over these last several months go from somebody who was, above my level, admittedly now even, go to where you are now, and now you're in the realm of where you're thinking about partnership, and I think you got a real run at it, and I think Twitch would be foolish not to make you a partner.
100%.
Yeah, but I'm going through some of that learning. Partner. Yeah, I've been going through some of that process myself, and just to see the success that you have had recently and throughout the last almost year, it's been really inspiring. So I'm really, really happy for you, dude.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. It's been a wild and interesting ride, but I've met so many cool people. Honestly, the retro community on Twitch is probably easily my favorite community on Twitch. And if it hadn't been for the retro community, that's where I really enjoy, most of the people that I've met on the platform have come from the retro community.
Dude, the retro community is just beyond phenomenal. It's just it's so much love in this community and so much support. And I admit I'm kind of a hermit. I kind of stick in my retro bubble, so I can't really say this with great confidence, but I feel like it's kind of a unique sphere within Twitch in that regard. I don't think you really get that support outside of it.
I've never been in a community quite like the retro community on Twitch, and I play a lot of games. I didn't really switch to primarily retro till about 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Before that, my first few years on Twitch was all variety streaming, mostly modern games. It wasn't until a couple of years ago where I started to play more retro.
Awesome.
And not because I didn't. It's just I didn't. I just never really thought about it. I always thought about playing modern games because that's what I had mainly been playing for the last few years.
Oh, sure.
So I really very much enjoy playing, because I'm always finding stuff to play that I've never played before too.
Oh,
There's such a huge library across all those
so much
systems. So
there's so much
deep cut stuff in there. Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and that's what I always say about retro. Other than the community, it's that it's kind of a loophole in the whole being a variety streamer. A type of streamer, in that you can do all of that variety, and there's so much variety to be had. stay within a single directory. You can build your content and your audience in one directory and play literally any type of game you can imagine. It's such a great
nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of touched on it a little bit to start, but we're all fan of origin stories around here. Mm-hmm. So take us back to 6 years ago. Jimbles sits down in front of his computer. The first time he presses live. What's going on? What brought you to Twitch? What brought Jimbles to Twitch, and then evolved it into the middle-aged stream that we see today?
So I was introduced to Twitch in the fall of 2014. I was playing on my Xbox One, which had only been out for like a year. So I had like the first edition, the Kinect camera, all that. Anyway, I saw a little thing. I was looking at the store. I was thinking about buying a game, and it said, watch this live now on Twitch. Like they had like a few streams of it up. So I was like, what the hell is this? I clicked on it, and then I realized it was live gameplay, you know, and it was somebody who was playing on the Xbox. And so I started to dive into Twitch and watched for kind of a couple months off and on. It didn't really quite hit me. And then I one day just decided to make a Twitch account. And my first Twitch account was Niner Jimmy. Was the name of because I'm a 49ers fan.
49ers,
Yeah, anyway. Shut up. Anyway, so I tried streaming from my Xbox at first. It was my Xbox and Kinect.
Wow.
And I was I thought, okay, I can kind of do this because I didn't have a good computer. I didn't have a PC. I had a laptop. My laptop was not strong enough to do any type of streaming. So I started from the Kinect, and then after a couple weeks, it was tied to my like personal social media account, and I realized this was a way for kids to troll me, and I needed to be more anonymous. Than, you know, again, I didn't understand Twitch yet. So I made my first. Then I switched to the MiddleAgedStream. The idea being twofold. One, I read an article that the average game player, or you know, the median was like 34 or something like that.
Yeah,
I think I was like 33 or 34 at the time. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll do this, and so that's where the origin of the MiddleAgedStream. And then the other reason was I was hopefully that the title alone would not make young people want to click on it. Like I was intentionally
brilliant
trying to scare away young people, because like no teenager or anybody wants to click on something that says the middle-aged stream. They want to watch fucking Ninja or whoever, man. They don't want to watch my shit. So it was like a double way to kind of help myself.
That's pretty clever, yeah. So a lot of thought went into that. That's very interesting.
That was my thinking process toward MiddleAgedStream. So, and now, of course, it's evolved to you know, stuff. Like that's part of the reason why I show like the BRB commercials. Is,
I love that.
Like the 80s and 90s stuff. A lot of I have an probably a much older than average audience than a typical channel on Twitch. And I'm not just saying, I think in the retro in general, you have an older than average audience.
Yeah, it skews that way. Yeah.
In my channel, it seems especially I draw in some people that are even much older than I am. You know, I have regulars that are in their 50s that come by, and I even have the guy who's in his 60s that comes by. You know, and so I'm like, it's kind of cool, you know. I kind of having that little section like that. But
yeah, I like that.
I didn't know what I was doing. It was literally, I had a connect, and after a couple months, I finally said, you know, I really like this, and I wanted to build a PC. I'd never built a PC before. So I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos and got some people in the community to help me find parts.
Awesome.
And then I, you know.
So then you built your own rig, and very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of started from there.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't have the nerve to do that. You know, I've never built one before. I'm just going to go out and watch a bunch of tutorials and get it done. And, you know, that's really awesome. Yeah.
I was a little scared at first, to be honest, but I had enough people in the community that were like, look, man, it's really simple. They convinced me to like, it's basically like Legos, but a little more complex. Actually, you know?
Pretty much.
And you could do it, and I did, and I made some mistakes. Like I think I installed some fans backwards and shit like that. But like I had to get that worked out. But it was a good learning process, and I'm glad I did it because I've learned so many different things on Twitch over the years. Like audio and
yeah,
and video stuff and what bit rate settings and all the little nuances of trying to have a really high quality stream for the viewer.
And you do, and your audio quality is, I mean, top notch. I've always been in just awe of how good your stream sounds. So having, and that's the way I'm learning too. I'm learning as I go. I knew nothing about this stuff before I started Twitch, but just to know that you started in that same way is very humbling and very, very awesome. And I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
been fun.
so happy that there's a relatable start story.
Yeah.
I did the same exact thing when I started too, Jimbles. I had the Xbox One Connects thing. I had no PC. I had a crappy laptop that was an Apple, I think. That was like 5 years old, and I just used that to watch, chat because that's all I had. And did the same thing. Then I started. You know what? I'm gonna make a PC out of this because this is actually pretty cool. My wife even bought me the PlayStation 4 video camera because I had the PlayStation 4. So she's like, that way you can change between the two consoles if you want to. So we did the whole nine. That's very humbling. That's how we both started.
Hey, yeah, man.
Awesome.
I mean, and this is the advice I give people now: like, stream with what you got. Because if you're starting out streaming, this is some great advice that I'm not the originator of this advice, but it was the same thing was told to me, and you should stream with what you got to see if you like it, because you may stream for a few streams and realize you're not really into it, and you're not having that much fun, and it's obvious. Your streams may suck, but if you're not having any fun, and more than likely, when you start streaming for the first, at least probably several months, you're probably not going to be very good. Yeah. It's just it's a learning process, and that's okay. It's okay.
I think it's important to suck. I think it's important to go through that process. Absolutely. I mean, and it's important not to be afraid to suck if you want to do this. And like you said, start with what you got. You got an Xbox One or these days PlayStation 4 or PS5. Now. It's got a function to stream right from it. Just do it and see if you like it. Test the water,
Well, I mean, and streaming it's a skill you develop over time. It's not like you would go to a music store and buy like a $5,000 guitar, come home and never play a guitar before and think you're going to sound like Hendrix. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to happen.
Precisely.
Absolutely.
Why would you spend $5,000 on streaming equipment for something you've never done before when you could spend far less than that and get going and see if you like it?
Absolutely. Sound advice. Very good.
Now, was there ever anything in your life that was performative before? Acting, theater, music, anything that was like that? Because you're a natural performer. And I'm also going to think a lot of this is your time on Twitch and the progression. But was there ever anything in your past that kind of led into that?
I did a little bit of theater arts in high school, but I wasn't really. I was more behind the scenes than on stage. I tried doing a little bit of stand-up for a little bit for a while, but failed miserably at that, so that didn't last. It was just,
I don't know how that's possible. You fucking split my side every time I turn on the
I was much younger. I was much younger, and it was like, it was more like on a whim from some friends cajoling me into doing it than anything else. It wasn't me trying to do serious. It was, when they have open mic nights at places, you know what I mean? So,
Eddie, ever think of doing more of that, or are you going to stick with the... Because I thought about doing it.
I mean, it's fun. I could see it, but I honestly, I kind of just like sitting behind my screen and being able to control everything.
That's right.
I'm the master of the domain on Twitch.
It's the Jimbles show, right? Stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And you can also kick the hecklers the fuck out.
That's right.
That makes sense. Yeah, you can ban the hecklers.
The fuck out.
That's right. Very good. Very good.
Which actually, I want to go to something that Chard was saying earlier about the face of the beer. Now, he says it's not that expressive, and I'm like, oh, I think of one clip with that I actually go, and it was when you were playing Super Gradius, and I think it was Sonochamp told you to do the Konami code, which self-destructs you in the game, and you just went to close-up. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I think the beauty of using an avatar or what works, because I studied a lot of different. It's not like I'm the first person to do something like this.
Right.
I think what makes it work is simplicity. I think if you have avatars that are too complex, it kind of turns into the uncanny valleys type of scenario.
Definitely.
I like a lot of the streams and some of the ones that I've seen that I think do it well are the ones that are simple. If there's too much detail, in the avatar, I think that can actually be a little bit of a hindrance.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense because it's basically the beer is a smiley face with the shape of a beer, and it's very relatable and very. I don't know if this is what you're going for, but it's adorable. It's cute. And
it's non-threatening.
Yeah, it's non-threatening.
Exactly.
That's
you guys know
inviting.
I'm also obviously I'm a guy. I sound like a guy, but even it's kind of gender neutral too, because women love beer and women. It's not really
right.
It's kind of a non-threatening sort of thing. I think that's.
I see that.
You know, I think that's part of the reason why it works.
Very good.
But generally, beer is an inviting thing.
Yes.
Like if you go to somebody's house, you want a beer, you know, you do the thing. It's
even the people who don't drink, they don't see it as like an issue.
No.
It's you know, it works.
I love how you've tied it in with the emotes too, and a lot of your other visual design.
Yes.
And I heard a streamer once say that they admired you because if they were in somebody else's chat and somebody dropped a middle-aged stream emote, everybody knows that that's a middle-aged stream emote.
Right.
And it's so well tied back in. I mean, I know it's not like a matter of marketing or branding. It's just a matter of, you know, how you present yourself. But it did tie in awfully nicely.
Even me being a beer was tied back to my first emote when the affiliate program started. I already been on Twitch for a few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so immediately when it started, I was already at the level, so I got affiliate, and that meant when the affiliate program first started, you could just have one emote.
Yep.
And that was it for affiliates. You could have one emote.
Okay.
And then I think then later when they added tier 2 and 3, then you could have an emote for tier 2 and tier 3.
That's when I got it. Yeah.
Right. That's when we got it. Yeah.
But when I first, it was literally the one emote. So the story behind that was when I used to stream with a cam, every time I'd go up to get another beer, I would pull the chair back and do some silly like beer dance is what I called it. I like get back and I'd just start whatever. And people clipped it and whatever. So the beer emote is a beer dance, like a beer dance.
Okay.
And in one of your one of them is the dance.
Okay, yeah.
So and then when I decided to do an avatar, I was like, I've already got these beers from the beer. Like, let's just make it the beer because it had already been in the emote for the channel for a while. So I got an artist to work with me, and that's how that started.
That's great. Yeah. So it was something new, but it was also something deeply rooted in your
it had
past.
been around. The emote had been existed. That was my first emote on Twitch.
Awesome. That's a great story.
One,
that was back in 2017.
Yeah. Wow. The dancing beer
like
one
over 4 years old or almost 4 years old.
Yeah, I use that one all the time. Yeah.
That's really cool. You've gone through transitions through your your beginning and end and everything. Well, not end, but current. And you've still managed to maintain the initial startup, emote, and then instead said, you know what, I'm going to build off of this just as one thing, and turned it into this empire, like this empire of MiddleAgedStream, the beer, the sentient beer that plays retro games and Dark Souls and things for your amusement. Yeah. That's a really great thing that you didn't take what you started with and just scrap the whole thing.
Right.
And say, you know what, we're going to start fresh with a new deal. You stuck with your guns, and that's huge. You hear every time I look on stream, there's somebody that I've followed. They've got a new moniker or a new screen name or new tagline or something. And it's just like they just scrapped the whole thing and they're just rebuilding it up. But it's good. I mean, it's good for you to keep who you are and take that with you as you grow. That way the people that came in with you to start know who you are and will stay with you. And now, like Paul said, to reiterate that, it keeps you've had it forever. Yeah. People know who the MiddleAgedStream emotes are.
It allows,
they're since 3 or 4 years, It
allows continuity, awesome. Is what it does. From the one, from the start
right
to
where
you are now.
People know when Jimbles comes in and you see the dancing beer. Yeah. I would have no idea that's been around since the first time you've had an emote. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like all about the whole thing of channel culture. You have built a channel culture, and it's potent and it's relatable and it's inviting, and we freaking love it.
It's a great hook.
I appreciate it.
It's a great hook.
It's a lot of fun. I would not trade streaming for. I mean, it's grown to me to be more than just a hobby now. I mean, it's really become something that I really enjoy doing, and I'm always trying to find ways to get better at it. And it's just like I mentioned before, it's a journey. It's an evolution. If you really, in my opinion, if you want to do it the right way, some people are just naturally good at streaming and get on Twitch and just shoot off like a rocket. A great example of this, Mom Games Hard. I know you guys, a lot of you guys know Mom. She was recently partnered, which I'm not surprised, but I mean, she's only been streaming for like 2 years. You know, I mean, she's relatively new to the scene. But she just had it right out the gate. You know, she just had it. It's taken me a while to find out what that it is for me. And I think I finally stumbled onto it, and now I can get better at it.
Oh, so. you sure have. You sure have. And and some of it just it takes longer. You know, I'm on the long journey myself, but I'm enjoying the ride. And, you know, like you said, streaming is one of those things that's super easy to get into. You don't need a lot to get into it, but it's incredibly difficult to master. And, you know, and maybe impossible. Maybe nobody ever masters it completely, but it is definitely fun to take that ride. And I love it too. Yeah.
Totally. It took me a long time. I did the same thing. I started playing. I was like, when I start Twitch, I'm going to play H1Z1, Player Unknown. I'm going to do all these battle royales. I hate battle royale games. I'm not a fan of them. I'm not good at them. I would not be fun to watch me play those. No. So, you know, we fell into the RPG slide, and I said, you know what? You don't see a whole bunch of this going on consistently. Let's just do this, and it's worked, and I like it. And not everybody loves it, but you know what? Like you said earlier, if you're not enjoying yourself, no one's going to enjoy it. Like if people come into your stream and you look like you're just bored out of your mind, they're not going to glom onto that. You have to at least be interested in what you're doing.
For sure.
So I think that I relate with you a lot more than I had anticipated. Jimbles, that's awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Now, you name drop Mom Games Hard, which I can't hear that name without hearing your voice going, Mom, come on.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah, you did
that.
Yeah. Who are the streamers that you look up to? The ones that you go, man, they got it. They're good.
Okay. So Mom, we hit it off real early when I met her last year. Met her about a year ago. But besides her, I would say my buddy Knackers, he's always been a streamer I've looked up to because he is so good at the technical aspects and the, you know, just the community building aspects of Twitch and everything. I feel like he's a guy that part of the only reason he hasn't been able to build his audience is his job has made it hard for him to stream consistently.
Yeah,
right. That'll do it. That's one of the biggest things. That's the other thing I should mention too. It wasn't until I was able to start streaming at least 3 days consistently a week that I started to see real growth. And that didn't happen until COVID because the only time I could do that in the last years was when in the summertime because I used to coach. I resigned from coaching. I used to coach high school football and soccer. And I did that for 10 years. I resigned when COVID hit because there was no way to do it, I thought, safely, you know?
Yeah.
And so that gave me more time to stream. And that's when I noticed, you know, and I'm not saying everyone has to do that, but I would say at a minimum, man, you really kind of have to stream 3 days.
Yeah.
Grow. Otherwise, it's kind of just going to be staying consistent, you know?
The way I look at it is and I'm not in that territory looking for right now, but I keep the 3 days a week minimum because you have to have that 12 days a month. If you're ever going to be in running for partner, that's one of the criteria. So 3 days a week is like the absolute minimum.
Sure.
If you can do it, if you want to, if you're aspiring to be at a partner level.
Right.
Yeah.
And what Paul said, Future Man Gaming, he's a guy, he's one of the first people I started watching on Twitch way back. I've always been a big fan of him. Tiger Rider, another guy who's been around a long time on Twitch. He was one of the first streamers I watched. Let me see here. Late Night Retro, he's a guy I've always been a huge fan of. You know, we've been friends a long time. I look up to Ash and Shroomy in the retro community as well. I think they have great entertaining streams that I really like a lot. I mean, there's really too many to mention, man. I mean, there's so many great streamers. Yeah. Andy Social Network's a big one.
Oh yeah.
I've watched him a lot. It was funny because I never really talked in his stream very much at all. I lurked for a while.
Yeah.
And I started talking and hanging out with him, and now he's rated me a million times.
Oh, yeah.
He's been so supportive, man. You know, and trying to help me. you know, with getting my numbers up and more viewership on my channel. It's just, there's a lot of people, and really too many to name, that have been so supportive. And a lot of people that I look up to and think, you know, there's so many things that I could do to get better, you know, on Twitch. So, yeah, there's a big list. There's so many people that do so many cool things on Twitch that it's hard to just, you know, put it into just one category.
Yeah, there's so much out there. It's like it's almost impossible. And you name dropped a lot of great, very inspirational people that I also am inspired by. So yeah, it's very, very, very good.
Your stream is always, as going back to the fresh thing, and I know we kind of asked about like how do you keep that going, but how do you just keeping it fresh and keeping it constantly evolving? You do videos on YouTube. You do the snake humping song.
Okay, the videos on YouTube, I don't really do much.
You don't do those?
Mainly an archive site. Okay, so I appreciate you trying to. I mean, I literally highlight some stuff and I put it on there for my kid to watch so he can watch it. That's pretty much my YouTube.
But even then, every time we come in, like Paul said, we come in and you've got a new scene and you've got, we raid you and we're either joining the beer cult or we're getting scared by your farming people, and then you get the scare scream or whatever from that. Like, how do you just keep pumping that out? You're so busy. I know with COVID you've not been as much, but you've got a full-time family, you've got a full-time job. How do you do that? And then you're consistent on top of that you're always going live at the same time. I know when to find you. And you go for a long time too. It's not like you only stream for 2 or 3 hours. You go for a chunk of change. How do you get that inspiration and find the time to squeeze in all that little, to make all those new nuancy things?
I mean, it really depends on what I'm doing. A lot of the creative process for creating new scenes, it happens kind of organically. Usually when I make new scenes, it's usually like a Saturday afternoon where my wife's doing something, my son's playing with his friends on the computer, or, you know, he's playing outside, and I'll sit down for a couple hours at the computer and I'll just bang out ideas. And some of them work. Some of them I've got rejected scenes also. Okay. I have some that have never seen the light of day. Some that were, I deemed too inappropriate, perhaps, and then others that I just think weren't as funny. Like I had this one idea. I had one idea for a scene. I'll share one with you that never made it past the cutting room floor.
Cool.
One of the things I hate as a streamer is when somebody says something in chat, and then you don't address it because either you had already addressed that question before, or it's just something that's whatever. And then the person brings it up again and again and again. And they just keep posting it in chat until you like respond to it, right? So I had this idea for a scene where it was me like beating a dead horse, and then the horse like then the horse exploded and like guts like flew out everywhere.
I love that.
I do too.
But I thought it was a little too gory. It was a little too over the top. So I decided I didn't do that scene. That would be one example. Like I spent like 2 hours trying to put this thing together, and finally I was like, this isn't working. Yeah. And I just, tossed it.
This is good.
But that's part of the creative process too. You have to get some ideas you think are going to work, and then other ideas don't. As far as the consistency thing, I think maybe I can just attest it to my background. I spent 8 years in the Army, and that kind of helped me with, sleep deprivation and the ability to like just force yourself.
Discipline and,
there are times where I don't necessarily feel, I'm not going to lie. There are times I sit down and I am tired and I have had a long day. But that's the beauty of having the avatar is you don't see any of that. Like you guys never see that. And I know that if I go for 15 or 20 minutes, by the time that 20 minutes is up, I'm going to be fine, you know? And it's just knowing myself. And I've kind of had to learn what I'm comfortable with and what I can do. And I know if I cancel a stream, which is rare, but I do, it's with a good purpose, Okay. So, yeah, I guess the self-discipline, I have a good amount of it. Unless when it comes to drinking boxed wine, but other than that, I'm pretty.
I've heard about that. Yeah. Do you have any like pre-stream rituals that you do to kind of get yourself hyped or in the mood? Do you like listen to any certain types of music? Do you watch, maybe something inspirational, funny video or something? Or is there anything you do just to get in the mood before you go live?
I usually have everything ready about 30 minutes before I go live because I don't want to stress and, put it all. Because I run a lot of different programs and a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
My setup has evolved over the years. And then usually I will go sit on the back porch and talk to my wife for a little while, just, because she knows that I won't be seeing or talking to her much for a few hours. So I usually just talk to my wife. That's my pre-stream ritual. We usually chat for 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay.
I'll have we'll talk about each other's day. And if for some reason she's not around, then I'll just watch others. I might watch another stream for a little bit. A lot of times I'll be hanging out in another stream mere minutes before I go live, just because I like to watch other streams that put me in a good mood before I go and stream.
Okay.
The only other ritual I have is this back massager from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
And I'll put it like before we podcasted, I had this sucker on my back and I was getting a nice shiatsu massage.
Nice. Just
I
gotta
could use
relax.
that. I don't know if you've been seeing.
It's nice because it really loosens up the shoulders.
Sure.
Oh, see,
yeah.
Be all about
Might have
that.
to get on Amazon and find one of those.
DM link of what the heck that thing is. I
think they've got a million. It's from China. If you just look up like shiatsu neck massager on Amazon, you'll find one.
You'll find a million of them.
I think it was
probably.
like $40, 40 or 50
Oh,
bucks.
yeah.
This is happening. This is happening.
I think all three of us are going to be just vibrating the next stream.
What's that sound? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's nothing.
I find myself watching. I like to catch everybody. I want to see as many people as I can. I do the same thing right before I go live.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I've actually missed my start time because I've been so invested in somebody else's stream.
Yeah.
Do you find that ever happening, or are you just like, no, this is my time to shine. I gotta go.
It's happened to me before. I usually have a pretty good time awareness. I think that's a military thing because I'm kind of under the if you're not. It's kind of like if you're not early or late sort of concept when it comes to streaming. So I usually am pretty on time. The only time I usually am off is if like I have an issue, like maybe I need to do something for my son, or I'll be late if I need to take care of something family related.
Something important, right? Yeah,
of course.
Now, I'm glad you brought up your service in the military. First of all, thank you very much for your service. And that was a question I was going to ask is what do you think from that, very unique experience translated into, positives for your stream? And you talked about the punctuality, attention to detail, sleep deprivation, which if you're a streamer, you're going to have to make peace with that to some degree.
Very different.
But is there anything else that you go that was something I got from the military and it's just kind of part of me and it works well for me in what I do now?
Good question. I think perhaps being able to put up with or have a thick skin has also been beneficial because you better have a thick skin in the military. There's a lot of tough love in that type of environment, especially if you're in a combat zone because, when there's life and death on the line, you don't have the luxury of being polite all the time. And in the world of Twitch, people can be fucking assholes. With that said, I think I've cultured enough of the way the community is. It's usually instantly recognizable if somebody's a troll, and we just get them out. Or I'll have a little fun with them, in one of my scenes. But other than that,
take them to Monolith Burger.
Yes, that's one of my favorite things is to tease you a little bit when I come in and you pull out that you have your shit shake and your shit burgers.
It's a fine line because some people, I generally try not to do that with people that aren't regulars or people that I know.
Sure.
But at the same time, if someone's being just a fucking douche,
right,
I'll just drop it out on them because I don't have time for that.
If they're a serious douche,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right. Well, sometimes if they're gonna come in, you gotta cash their ass in for a little bit of fun.
Yeah, there you go. If they're gonna harass you, might as well make some entertainment out of it.
Well, and it was one thing that I realized too after streaming: if somebody is in your stream that makes you uncomfortable, get them out of there. You don't need it. It's not worth the view because it's gonna make it harder for you as a streamer mentally, and then it's going to affect every facet of the show. So if you have someone who does not make you comfortable, you got to get them out of there.
And because if it's making you uncomfortable, it's making chat uncomfortable too.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the
It's like having a house party and a bunch of people come over, and then that one jackass comes over with another friend, and you don't really like the guy, and he's being a dick, and he's drinking all the freaking whiskey, and you're like, what the fuck is this asshole here?
Oh, and one
finally
toxic,
pull him aside and get out.
one toxic viewer can take down and ruin an entire chat room experience.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
You know, if you let that sort of stuff go. And I see some streamers that do. Like, it blows my mind. Like, they almost encourage the abuse. And that's a different strategy as well. You know what I mean? Like, some people they just let people just berate and abuse them in chat. And I'm like, oh my God, I could never, I'd cry, man.
Yeah, I don't think I could put up with it. Yeah.
Well, and I'm glad you said it's not worth that one view.
Right.
That is something that people who are coming up in Twitch and are focusing on numbers because they want to get affiliates or they want to start growing, don't get so attached to anybody, even if they've been in there for a while and suddenly they start being a dick. Cut them out.
Yeah.
I've had to ban and get rid of a mod before. I mean, it's these things, they happen.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I think sometimes I think one of the biggest things that some people are guilty of is they assume if they subscribe or they drop bits or leave a tip, that means they can just say or do whatever they want in your stream.
Right.
Like I've banned people out that have been over year subscribers to my stream because they've done something that I'm like, there's no going back from this.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
sub to you. They don't own you.
You chose to do this. This is the response.
Yeah.
Right.
So, they sub to you. They don't own you. Yeah.
Community is more important to cultivate than view count. I mean, if you're going to have the same couple people come in, even if it's just the same 5 or 6 people that always hang out with you, but they're supportive and they're good to you, you want that more than you want, hey, I got 10 people here to tell me to get good or go to Blighttown, for instance. Have you been to Blighttown yet, Jimbles? You're just like, shut the fuck up, man. I just want to play the game. Don't tell me how to play it.
Yeah.
I'm going to fail on my own and enjoy me failing. That's like part of the thing of playing it, right? Is I'm going to fuck up. You guys are going to love it. So why have someone to tell you, like, the minute you press start, oh, you're playing this? Oh, you're going to be terrible at it. Well, guess what? You don't have to watch me.
Can do it right. They know how to. It's a balancing act.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't.
You have to be able to take some of those criticisms, of course.
Yes.
Because people are going to do it. Part of it's the mentality of Twitch chat.
Right.
To troll the streamer.
Right.
And you have to be able to turn those. And also, the people who are generally doing it, your regulars, they're not the ones that are really pushing your buttons.
No.
It's the people that come in that just want to just shit on your stream or the game because, or maybe it's not even about the game. Maybe you ever get this. I'm sorry to turn this into what I hate about streaming, but we might as well.
Go, man. Preach.
One of my biggest hates is, let's say you're having a really good time. You're having a really good stream. Everyone's having a good time and everything's fucking great. And then somebody comes in to Twitch chat and says something like they don't say anything else. They just come out of the blue and say something like, my dog just died yesterday.
Emotional trolls. Yeah.
Yep.
And you're like, man, I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you know what I mean? Like,
what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You really think that saying that in Twitch chat is really gonna be the best way to? I mean, they're just looking for
we're doing fart jokes, and you come in with your dog just died. Yeah, I get it.
Like we're not going to pull this big rig over to talk about your dog, although it is sad, and we are sorry.
Oh yeah,
it's wrong place, wrong time, wrong venue.
There are some examples that I know that there are some individuals that will come in the stream and they have social, like, they're not very good socially at all.
Right.
Like, you can tell some people just say stuff in Twitch chat and it's obvious they have no real social skills.
Yes.
Right.
Whether that's because of some type of condition they have or whatever.
Yeah.
There are people on Twitch like that.
Yeah.
They have and you have to kind of recognize, like, there's this one individual, I'm not going to say who it is.
Sure.
But, like, there's this one individual that comes by, like, every day to give me a countdown to how many more days till their birthday. Like, that's all they say in chat. Like, they'll come in and be like, 17 more days to my birthday.
I was there for one of those yesterday.
Like
I know I'm not going to name the name either.
Birthday.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
That's wonderful.
Fantastic.
By the way, my
like
birthday's next month. I just want to put
in
that.
10 days, you won't have to worry about it.
That's right.
It's gonna be 364 days.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Then the song starts all over again.
Oh, man, that's rough. I can see the guy or person getting closer to the date, but not like, well, another year till the old
year.
B-Day.
Let's count them down together.
Oh, Jesus. You should have
And then they say to you, why weren't you there for my birthday?
I
a
know.
calendar scene to be like, wait, well, how many days? Okay. Go back to the game.
It'll be the day of the birthday. It'll be, hey, guess what day it is?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I'll be like, wait, what day is it?
Are you my present?
It's Wednesday.
What day?
Who are you
Yeah,
again?
Thursday.
It's
Is that
Thursday.
today?
They're like, no, it's my birthday. I'm like, no, it's not. Your birthday was yesterday. And then you just
Yeah,
keep
just
going.
just keep going around. Yeah, what are you drunk?
No, your birthday was yesterday. Get out of here.
We already celebrated
We
it.
already
You missed it.
celebrated. Dude, that would be the ultimate troll.
That would be
Just
great.
The reverse
yeah,
troll.
Yeah. That is great.
But you have built this great community that is really, generally, way more than generally, really well intentioned, fun, respectful. They know how to bust your chops without being a bunch of assholes. And this is an example for a lot of streamers of, again, that community culture and also then it becomes self-policing with a lot of the trolls, because if they come in, they're like, dude, fuck off. We don't do that shit here.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's it's important, and I think the best way to do that is, like I said, if there's someone that makes you uncomfortable that shouldn't be there, don't leave them in your stream.
Right.
That's really the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
And the rest kind of takes care of itself. You know?
It has to be cultivated. It has to be nurtured. It has to be, weed out the issues. Yes, absolutely.
And trust your mods. I mean, obviously the mods, are a representation of your stream, obviously.
Yeah.
So
shout out to mods. Yeah.
The moderators really do a lot of the legwork when it comes to creating community and culture, because they kind of are the examples, of your stream. So I happen to have a really great group of people and a lot of my mods have been around a really long time. So it's been cool, and they've given me insight into community members that I've needed to take action on or not. And if you have good mods, that makes it all the more easy for that to happen.
Amen.
Amen to that. Yeah.
You, but you're not you'll have a lot of people in your chat, and you still say hi to everyone. I don't know how many times I've come in, they're like, "What's up, Jimbles?" And you'll have people just, talking to you, and you say hi to every single person that says hello to you, and that's a gift, because I've, like 2 people, and I'll miss whatever the hell they're saying. It's impressive that you are
I still miss chat.
But
I do want to tell you.
Yeah.
Even if you miss something, you'll be like, "Oh shit, is that person here? Hey, I'm sorry I missed you." You will still go back and talk to them. That's a gift, to have such a welcoming community. I mean, even your mods, I know, like Books and Vaughn and Fisherman, that even they say hi when you pop in. So it's like you said, your mods are an extension of you, so to speak. Every time we come in there, we always feel welcome, and it's so cool to be in such a big place with such a welcoming group of people to hang out and watch you play Batman or, Battletoads, whatever nightmare that you've decided to put on your stream for the day.
I felt your pain the other day when I was in your stream. You were playing Batman, because that level you were on, I forget the numbers with the conveyor blocks. Oh,
those conveyor blocks
are.
are
so mad at that game. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to come back to it or not.
Yeah, you went to the Salt Cave a couple
of
of times on that, or the Salt Mine. Excuse me, a couple of times.
I'm dreading.
On that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I may actually hang that one up and may come back to it again later, because it makes me so mad.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Do you know what makes me so mad about that game? Is that at least in Battletoads, you have a limited amount of continues. So you're only going to die in one spot so many times. In Batman, you have unlimited continues. So once you make it to a level that you're stuck on, you're just going to freaking die in the same spots over and over and over again. And it pisses me off.
You can't be like, well, I'm out of continues. Move on to the next game.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll see how I feel on Tuesday when I get back to playing some games. I may be switching. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how I feel. I usually try not to just out and out quit a game.
Yeah.
But god dang,
sometimes
this
you
game
got
is
to.
pissing me off.
Sometimes you got to, man. I can 100% relate with that. And then sometimes you're playing something, you're like, no, I'm going to do this. gonna get it done, and the more you play it, the madder you get. And you're like, you know what? I'm not having fun. No one's gonna have fun here in a minute.
And the thing is, it's not even the hardest game I've ever played. It's just there's something about this game that just pisses me off.
Yeah.
You know, and so I've rage quit a couple times playing it, and I've just switched to play something else because I'm just like I
see it keeps sucking you back though because it's got that killer soundtrack and it's got the gorgeous graphics and the gameplay is
good
fun.
Game. It's not a bad game.
It's just it gets so frustrated at times.
Yes.
And again, it's just certain games hit certain people. I mean, Nicole, if I say Kid Icarus to her, she'll just be like, you can see the cartoony redness.
The trigger.
Just like with Bud, if I say Adventure Island.
No, that game is hell on earth.
I hate Adventure Island.
The original Adventure Island is fucking hell on earth.
It's the
Fuck
worst.
that game right in its butt.
It needs to be buried right next to E.T. I'm saying it right now.
It is a bad video game.
Yes.
Now the sequel is great.
I sent Bud a cartridge of AI1.
Did you really?
Yeah. You want to talk about people that troll?
Yeah, he trolled me by buying me a game.
It's a whole new level.
Get the focus.
Wow.
It's wanting to focus on my face. Yeah, of course it's not going to focus now.
It doesn't want to focus, but oh well.
Yeah, $900
We believe you. I can see the color scheme.
So much fun. So much fun.
Now what are games that you just won't touch? That are just like, nope. Maybe not because of the style, but because either piss off factor or ones that you just go, no, I will not play. Like for me, it's horror games. I hate horror games. I'm a wuss. Okay, go ahead, bring it. But it's like, hey, play Five Nights at Freddy's. How about no?
I love
Five Nights at Freddy's isn't a horror game. It's a jump scare.
Like jump scare games, although I do play them from time to time because they can be fun. The community likes them.
Yeah.
But I usually don't pick them myself. There are some retro games that I've played before and I'm just terrible at and don't plan on trying to beat, like Double Dragon, for example.
Right.
I've never been good at the Double Dragon games. I don't like the control scheme. I don't see myself going on, all right, I'm going to beat Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3. I'm like, that's probably never going to fucking happen.
Right.
I mean, there's not too many that I've just written off. There's that game Getting Over It where you got to use the mouse and keyboard.
Oh no!
They keep trying to get me to play that. I've never played it.
Knackers keeps trying to get me to play it. I'm like, you can suck it, dude. I ain't
suck
playing
it, Knackers.
You can tell him to suck it, Neok.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you get over it.
I will. Well, see, he's like, well, no, I played Battletoads. Like, yeah, dude, but I was giving you I gave you an incentive, to do it. You're not giving me shit for incentive. I don't want to play that piece of shit. No, I know a lot of people have fun playing, but I would break my mouse. I would break the mouse in that game, probably. Yeah, not too many, man. I don't play puzzle games. I don't really like puzzle games because I get frustrated and feel stupid. And then I don't really play a lot of old school like JRPGs. That's why I don't play a lot of RPGs from the retro era because most of them are like JRPGs style. Not saying I hate them. I don't know. I prefer a little bit more fast-paced movement on the screen. And it's kind of like those games are very static.
Right.
And I know they got great story and everything, but I think for what I try and do, I prefer games that have a little bit more movement going on than RPGs. So I don't really play a lot of those.
Like the platformers and things like that.
Western RPGs, I tend to be like, a Skyrim type of game, more modern RPGs. And even like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I really, really enjoyed. But like the old retro RPGs, I never really play those.
Okay, so opposite end of that question then, what are some games that you get excited about playing? What are your favorite types of games that you like to play?
As far as retro games are concerned, I mean,
anything, yeah.
Retro games, it's platformers, but then modern games, I really like No Man's Sky. I've been playing a lot of lately.
Yeah, you've got me hooked on that stuff.
Yeah,
really, really
that
good.
Looks nice.
I like playing like flight sim games. Like I like Ace Combat. I like that Star Wars Squadrons game that came out this last year. It's a lot of fun.
It took us an hour for him to mention Star Wars.
Yeah,
we did good.
I want you to know that I wore my Star Wars shirt in honor of you today.
I appreciate it.
And I see the X-Wing on the bedspread.
You do.
And the Force be with you, and the Star Wars pillow cover. That is impressive.
Yeah. I didn't even notice the X-Wing. Yeah, nice.
It's a little quilted X-Wing. You can't really see because of the thing, but there's
I do
Darth
now.
Vader's TIE fighter shooting at it.
Oh, that's
the
cool.
laser beams coming down.
Very nice.
But yeah, I play a lot of different stuff, man. Like it's true. There's a lot of things that I always get excited about playing. I'm looking forward to when they finally fix Cyberpunk so I can play through that.
Oh yeah,
that'll be nice. I'm just waiting. I got it. I'm not all pissed off. I'm just like, it wasn't the developers of the game. It was the publishers that wanted to freaking make the money and get it out before the holidays.
Yeah, they pushed them really to put it out before it was ready. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I still like it even in its broken state. I still enjoyed what I played. I haven't finished it because obviously there's going to be a lot more.
Sure. I was enjoying it too until I got in a mission that I couldn't finish.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah,
and I was like, so I was like, all right, I'll just wait for them to fix it and then I'll start a new game.
There you go. Right. There you go. What do you do outside of what do you like to do? Like outside of Twitch and outside of gaming, do you have any other hobbies or any thing that you're really into?
I like to go when the weather's nice. I like to kayak.
Oh,
nice. I like to be outside. I like to grill a lot just for fun.
Oh, cool.
I'm boring, man. I read. I'll occasionally go to a brewery and go try out some new craft beers, but I'm pretty low key, man. I spend a lot of time at home, kind of a homebody.
Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of the same way. Yeah.
Well, especially since COVID.
I know, right?
It's been
but I've been wanting to get out.
I'm looking forward to being able to travel again.
Me too. Point. Yeah, I'm definitely ready to start at least getting outside more, and the weather's starting to warm up, so I'll definitely be hitting the park and doing some hiking and stuff like that. So, thank God for that, right?
Word.
All right. Well, guys, we're here. We're about an hour. We could wrap up. We keep going. I don't think we have any
questions.
I don't see any viewer questions. But I'll tell you what, this has been a lot of fun talking to you, Jimbles. You are an interesting guy. I think I speak for everybody. I look up to you as a content creator, and I look forward to seeing you grow. I look forward to that partnership that I just know you're going to get, dude. And just thank you once again for being on the podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll go around the room, see if anybody else has any final words before we move on. Chardmonk?
Jimbles, I absolutely love everything you do, and I'm really sad that I did not discover you a little bit earlier in the Twitch life. I know I stumbled upon you hanging out in an Ellen stream as usual, but what you do is entertainment at its highest level, in my opinion, and I love it. I love being a part of it. I love hanging out with it. I love your chat and the gameplay. All the scene changes, the ooh-woos. My friend and I at work, we laugh about, because we have people that I know at work with that watch your streams too, and will reflect upon stuff that you've done together at work and laugh about it, and it gets us through our days. I mean, it's what you do is an entertainment. It's so much better than what's on TV, in my personal opinion, and
Agreed.
I think you need to keep on doing what you're doing, and please do, because I love hanging out with it. And you are, as to echo Bud, you're a big inspiration for me as well. So I love watching you, and I love doing the same thing that you and I are doing, and to feel that we've both started from the same ground point with the Xbox and all that stuff. I was like, okay, I'm
so
doing the right
awesome.
thing.
That's right,
I'm on
man.
the right way.
You gotta start with what you got.
That is so awesome. I love that.
Thank you for entertaining us and just being a really fucking chill and cool dude, and coming on our podcast and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it very much.
And
Paul?
I'll
Go right
I'll
ahead.
echo a lot
Sorry.
of the same things, but also your approachability as a person, because we only started this about a year ago, and when I came in, same thing. You're just like, hey, dude, welcome to Twitch, because I mentioned I'm totally new to this. And it's like, welcome in, and I hope you're successful, and if you ever need any pointers, let me know. And you've always been really kind, really respectful, and yes, I'm going to echo the same things, that your content is killer. I absolutely love it. And one of the things that I really appreciate is you have so much freaking fun doing what you're doing, and it's obvious. And that translates obviously into good content, welcoming atmosphere and everything. And I appreciate it. And just like Chart said, I have a couple of your clip reel things that you've done with the editor that you work with that I have saved on my bookmarks in my Twitter, because they just freaking crack me up. streamer gets scared playing scary games in his own stream. That thing freaking kills me. Especially that thing where the person fired off the sound alert. What's up, bitches? You are a consummate entertainer. You embrace some of the self-deprecating humor of people trolling the crap out of you, but doing it in a fun way. And you've created something that is really, really, really good. And yes, an example and something that I definitely look up to. So thank you for doing what you're doing, and keep on doing it, man, because there are a lot of people who go, dude, Moss is on. I know what I'm watching.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much.
Amen. Jimbles, going to leave it to you, man. If you have any final words, man, it's been a pleasure having you on.
We do have
one
okay.
question.
Well, we do have a viewer question.
You finish up, Jimbles. But
finish up, and then we'll do the viewer question.
Oh, I was just gonna say I very much appreciated being on the show, and I love getting an opportunity to kind of talk with other content creators also, and shoot, man, I'm so glad that I got to meet all you guys thanks to the retro community, dude. It's really cool.
Same, absolutely, very good. All right, so we do have a question, one viewer question to Moss from Guilty Slug. He asks, have you ever considered getting into voice acting? I always thought you had a very powerful radio show host sort of voice. Yeah, you
definitely
can confirm.
Well, I don't really know the slightest thing about getting into voice acting. I feel like maybe it is something I've thought about. I just don't really know where to go with that. I think at some point, maybe if I were to get Twitch partnership, that might help maybe open some doors that weren't open before. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'll look into that a little bit more if Twitch partnership becomes a thing. That just might be a little feather in the hat that I could use to maybe get a door open for myself in that field.
Well, get this man partnered. He deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Twitch.
Get it done.
No.
Get
God
it done.
Damn it, Twitch. Get your shit together.
That's
Quit
right.
saying no, damn it.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta wear him down.
All right, guys. Well, I think we'll go ahead and leave it here. This has been a lot of fun. Everybody out there, thank you for watching episode 10 of the BCTV podcast. Once again, I want to thank Charred Monk, Paul at That Family Games, Jimbles, MiddleAgedStream. Go follow all these wonderful people, and thank you all once again. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye now.
Adios.